Jason, big news, a bunch of big news coming down over the last little while. I know it's been a bit of a whirlwind for you, the entire organization as a whole, but now as we continue to talk positivity, we talk about games coming down the pipe pretty shortly. A big announcement in regards to leadership. Interesting to note, 4 assistant captains, nobody necessarily wearing the C. Walk us through the importance of leadership and how in a shortened season like this, where everybody's playing every other day, how important this leadership could be.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I think we got to get off to a real good start, and the leadership group has to be an extension of myself, and it's going to be all that much more important. And to put that all on one person in particular as a captain makes it tough. And we just thought, as a group, we can spread out some of those responsibilities, and the players can lean on each other a little bit more. And so it made sense for us to create that leadership group and share some of those responsibilities. And our guys were real comfortable with that as well. So, Hunter Donahoe, Tyler Carpendale, Seth Bafaro, Trey Taylor, 4 guys that have a wealth of junior experience at different levels. So we're real comfortable with those guys being able to navigate us through some unprecedented times here a little bit, and the protocols that we have to go through, and to be able to kind of spread that out amongst the group was important to me and our staff. So we're real comfortable with the group we have in place, and we know they'll do a great job.
And, in a 58-game schedule, leadership is tested in many different ways because it's more of a marathon, not so much a sprint. Well, the next 6 weeks or so are about as much of a sprint as you can get. When they've had to go through what they've had to go through, how important and how have you noticed the leadership in general, and how much of a focus is that when things get as difficult as they do, and there are so many things that have to be abided by, how much can that leadership come in handy, and how much are you going to have to lean on these guys?
Yeah, it'll be important. I think that they've done a good job in general, our group, of navigating through these times from September on. And when you look back now, it's been quite the process, and our group has stayed the course. For the most part, our energy levels have been good. It was great news to get back here, but I think that the biggest thing we need to guard against is, we've got to be, get off to a good start, like I said, and we can't have players trying to do too much to, call it a showcase or whatever the word you want to use. We really got to stay within ourselves and our team game, and the improvements that we showed throughout the Okanagan Cup. We kind of have to pick up where we left off there. We can't divert back to where we started. We have to pick up where we left off. And I think that's been the message for months now, and continue to play as a group and defend hard and create offense through that. So our leadership group knows that, our whole group knows that. And, I think that's going to be the most important part, is that we play as a team and we play as a group. And if we do that, success will follow.
Well, let's get through it. You sort of listed them off earlier. We'll go through and talk about each individual and how their experience can help the group. Hunter Donahoe acquired last season, and plays a ton. 20-year-old defenseman. Obviously, in the Okanagan Cup, really seemed to have taken some strides, not only on the ice but from all intents and purposes off the ice. How can Hunter, really? How has he sort of stepped into that role and taken that on?
I think his game has improved tremendously since we first got him last year. The mistakes are far less, and he's just kind of simplified his game. He does have a lot of natural ability, and he's learned to pick and choose, when to do certain things. I think he's made vast improvements there. He's a real, a spokesperson for our group. A lot of guys look to him. When things come to me, they tend to come from Hunter, and he's a real, like I said, he's an important conduit for our group to me, and he's got good communication skills that way. So I know our players look to him for that, and he'll be a real good fit in regards to those situations.
Longest tenured person giving a letter is Trey Taylor. Came here as a 16-year-old. Has been here ever since, and has continued to take strides. Youngest member of the leadership group as well. But what has Trey Taylor sort of shown you, and how do guys maybe his age or maybe even a little bit younger continue to look up to him?
Well, I think with Trey, he's been fortunate to play with some real good leaders in his first year, and Jagger Williamson, Jesse Lansdale. There's a few kids there that I think he learned a lot from. And then, obviously last year with our group as well, some fabulous leaders in Connor Merritt and Dawson Holt, Jackson Collar, Landon Fuller. So there's definitely guys that he should have been able to pick up some things from. And I've challenged Trey in those areas to continue to grow as a leader. And I see that on a daily basis of him doing things that maybe he wouldn't have done when he was younger. So it's a growing process for Trey to grow into that role, but he's open to things. He wants to learn in those areas. So he really wants to round out his game. And it's just another area to build to his foundation. And he's done a good job of really kind of, taking some younger guys, spending some time with them, making them feel comfortable, little things like that I think Trey does a real good job of making guys, get comfortable quickly.
Anybody who watched the games on Hockey TV in the Okanagan Cup got a chance to see Tyler Carpendale play, and he's a veteran of the Western Hockey League, and but he made his presence felt pretty strong, offensively, but also physically, and I imagine with the experience that he's had in the Western Hockey League, now bringing that in to this role, what can a guy like Tyler Carpendale? I mean, it's a pretty big honor. You've played 14 games or so with the group, and now you've been given a pretty special achievement for that young man.
Yeah, he came in and made an impact right away. He's a big, strong, heavy forward, shoots the puck real well, and just a tremendous person to be around. Brings positive energy. There's no task there's not a solution for any task type of player. And, that's that he'll bring to our group. Obviously, he's a top six forward for us. He's going to play in all situations, and, his game will speak for itself. But, in that room, that's a strength of his is just, like I said, just always having a solution, being a real positive guy to any task at hand for us. So, he'll bring that element to our group on a consistent basis. And, when we're playing that much hockey in a short period of time, I don't think it's always going to be, it's not going to be linear. There's going to be ups and downs. And I think Tyler has a great perspective on things and persona to keep the energy where it needs to be throughout this process.
Without question, experience is a big part of this leadership group. We sort of outlined it. A guy that has not played junior A hockey, but is a member of this leadership group, but has had a ton of experience at the Western Hockey League level, as well as Seth Bafaro. And again, from everything that we hear, hard to say because we haven't necessarily seen him. Everything that we've heard, he's a pretty special player. And I understand you guys are extremely happy to have him, but obviously that's exemplified by the A that he'll wear on a sweater.
Yeah, absolutely. Tremendous defenseman, be able to play, big minutes for us, plays hard, he thinks the game well and, competes and great stick. And I think he's, a real gold standard kid. I think that's the best way to put it. He's made for this role. He's got the experience behind him. His demeanor, how he carries himself, how he treats people is just fantastic. So second to none. So he's found his way with us here in the last little bit. And, coming out of quarantine, I think he'll take a bigger role here. And, I'm real confident in his abilities. And when things do get hard, I know he's a guy that has the experience and I don't know if courage is the word, but the opportunity when something needs to be said, I know that, he'll say the right thing. So I've got a lot of confidence in Seth as I've got to know him a little bit more here. And like I said, he brings that element that, saying hard things sometimes is tough to do, but like I said, he's got the resume behind him, the experience, the ability as a player to encompass all those things and, get the message across to our players when it needs to be, even if it is an uncomfortable message. So, like I said, that's easier said than done for some guys. And, but he should be comfortable with our group and doing that. And, that'll be a big part of what Seth was able to bring our group.
Jason, we appreciate this. Really looking forward to seeing everybody get back on the ice and participate. Thanks for this, and we'll do it again in a week or so.
Okay, thanks for having me, Graham.